You should have a good idea of why you were penalized at this point now. Some issues were easy. If you have unnatural links pointing out, reduce the number of links you have in your content and don't link out to too many low authority sites. If you have spam on your websites, comments, user generated content, delete it and stay on top of it in the future. However, a few finalities aren't as simple, and that's what we'll be going over now. Fixing unnatural links, the manual penalty. The unnatural links to your site penalty is one of the most tedious and time consuming penalties to fix, but it needs to be done. The first step is to find the unnatural links, which means you need a list of all backlinks pointing to your site. Although you can get a portion of them from the Search Console, you may need to use a paid service such as Ahrefs or Magistics if you want a complete list. This is important because without a complete list, you will not be able to fix the issue and get the penalty lifted. Search your domain name in either the backlink database tool and click on inbound links in Majestic. The next step is to figure out which links are unnatural. The problem, as you might guess, it's going to be hard to go through a few 100,000 backlinks if you have a big site. In that case, you can use an appropriate tool to flag possible unnatural links. There are a number of such tools like Link Detox, Link Risk, Liquidator. All of these work the same way. You can enter your domain name or upload your list of links, and the tool will analyze them using their own secret formulas. Though these aren't cheap, if you've lost thousands of visitors or more from a penalty, they are worth it. In addition, they have other useful features to help you identify penalties easier and even make an email outreach more efficient. And that saves a lot of time and money. Step 3 is to remove those links over which you have control. Some unnatural links are easier to spot than others. They may be unnatural if they contain SEO in the URLs, such as links, SEO directories, if they are link profiles, if they are blog comments with anchor text other than a real name, if they are a poorly written article or on an article existing directory in an article directory, or if it comes from a site that's very generic and doesn't look like a real brand. So mark all of the links that you think is not unnatural and over which you think you have control and remove them. It's possible that you might have even built a ton of low quality sites used in article directories or even created a private blog network. So you have control over those and remove those links. However, in most cases, you won't be controlling the linking site. So you'll have to ask the owner to remove it for you. If it's a forum profile or another link that the site owner can't control, mark it down for a second option. You still need to have a list of all the links you'd like to remove in a spreadsheet. Now you need to find the contact information, ideally at least the name and email address of each site owner. You can do it all manually, visiting each site and finding the contact page or the email address. Or you can use a fairly inexpensive contact finder tool such as Contact Finder. Simply enter the domain or even better, a list of URLs into the tool. This saves you hours. Now you have the email address and the name of the owner. You have to try and craft the best email you can to successfully remove at least some of the links if you want to get the penalty lifted. So try to be polite. Use the person's name. Send one email per domain, even though there might be multiple links, and keep it short. For your convenience, we've added a template that you could use. It says, "Hi, use the name if you have it." We have recently gotten a message from Google that says our website, give your website name, has unnatural links pointing out to it for which we've been penalized. I am currently trying to remove any potential natural links. A link analysis tool has flagged a few links from your site. You have to mention this here because a lot of website owners try and they are aggravated that you are listing their website as a spam website. But if the list of your tool that you're using has flagged it, you should be mentioning it. There are times when you get a negative response. There are times when we have done it and we have sites that have said that we should pay them to remove it because it costs them money. But in Google, just give us a different option. Like if you are not removed, you can send for another email and then you can use a tool to disavow the link or tell Google that this link is no longer relevant for my site. The second option, like we were talking about, to submit a disavow file, this is what it is. It's pretty simple. You tell Google that this is the list of URLs or domain that you should ignore. You can add comments by starting with a hashtag, and when disavowing an entire domain, start this line with domain and don't include anything else after the extension, and put one domain or URL per line. After you have sent out the links for removal and you have got your responses, you have disavowed, sent up a disavow file, now is the time to ask for reconsideration. A reconsideration request is a request to Google to review your site after you fix the problems identified in the manual action notification. If you were hit by a manual action, you can submit a reconsideration request. In effect, it means that you believe that you've taken sufficient action to fix the problem and to ensure that it won't happen again. Once the request is sent to Google, a new manual quality rater is assigned to revisit and re-evaluate your site. If they are satisfied, the manual action will be lifted. To submit a review request, go back into SC, find the manual action under Search Traffic Manual Actions. For each manual action applied to your site, you can click on the red Review a Request button to bring up a form. The next step is to actually fix the issues to record your progress. This is extremely important if you have a penalty for unnatural links. If your penalty is something that is an on-site issue, then screenshots aren't very important as the reviewer can see the final results. When you submit your reconsideration request, the manual reviewer won't just take your word for it when you say that you have fixed things. So you need to compile documents and spreadsheets that prove you really did what you said. Here are a few examples of what Google suggests to include in reconsideration. Reconsideration requests are handled by real people, so good documentation helps the reviewer better understand the steps you've taken to address the manual action. So a good reconsideration request does three things. It explains the exact quality issue on your site, describes the steps you've taken to fix the issue, documents the outcome of your efforts. In our real life experience, we have found that the documentation is the most important because when you are sending emails to the site to remove links, most of them just ignore the emails. So what we did in our document is that we created a spreadsheet where we kept in the email content. We mentioned the date the email was sent. We sent the date that we resent the email again for back action. And then we put up the disavow link and put up the key reconsideration effect. So that shows that we try to do everything within a time frame of, let's say, at least 4 weeks to 5 weeks to help us get back into remove the penalty. And these are the steps that they were taken. So, and some of the steps, like most of the time, sites are hit by negative SEO when they are doing this natural unlinks. So now what we do is we regularly disavow the links that we find on the site. If possible, explain why the issue came up in the first place. For example, if you have an unnatural links penalty, you could explain that you hired an SEO company that you trusted, but then you find out they were building unnatural links. So explain how you fix the issue in a step-by-step procedure. Google wants to see that you made a real effort to fix the problem yourself. And as you can see, this is how they explain it in their text. This is where it is important to include any supporting documentation that proves your efforts. While you can't attach a file to your request, you can include a link to a Google Doc or any other online file. The final part of a reconsideration request is basically telling Google that you learned your lesson. If you built bad links that led to penalty, you can write a few paragraphs about your understanding of the fact that your actions were against Google's quality guidelines and that you understand what the guidelines are for. Write to show the reviewer that you won't manipulate Google in future. You can also link to the documents that describe your cleanup efforts. The following tips describe how to document actions for specific penalties. The first is manipulation of backlinks. Provide a list of links that you've taken action on. You should make good faith effort to remove backlinks before using the Disavow tool. This can be helpful to document the effort involved in removing those links. Simply disavowing all backlinks without attempting to remove them might lead to rejection of your request. Provide examples of pages where you added no follow attributes to the violating guide links and remove the links altogether. When you receive examples of violating links, make sure you extrapolate that information to fix similar links on your site. For thin or scrapped content, provide examples of bad content you removed and good content you added. And for purchased domain, if you recently purchased a domain that you think has violated the guidelines before you owned it, use the reconsideration request form to let Google know that you recently acquired the site and it now adheres to the guidelines. Here are some common reconsideration request pitfalls. The first is not using the disavow correctly. If you get backlinks removed, make a good faith effort to remove the links first. Blindly adding all backlinks to the disavow file is not considered a good faith effort and is not enough to make your reconsideration request successful. Also, for multiple links from the same domain, use the domain operator and make sure that you don't disavow organic links. The other issue for disapproval is not using fetch as Google when you are cleaning out hacked content. We often see cloaked content when a site has been hacked, meaning that Google crawlers see different content than what is being shown to you and your visitors. One way to see whether or not your site has been exploited in this way is to use Fetch as Google feature in Search Console. Unfortunately, Google rejects many reconsideration requests because the underlying compromise of the website hasn't been fixed, which means that Google can still see spammy content when they crawl the website. And finally, if you're submitting reconsideration request for empty sites, you should submit your reconsideration request only after the site has real content useful to people searching for it. Blank sites with many or little no content will not be reconsidered. Parked domains will not be reconsidered. Inaccessible sites due to errors such as server errors will also not be reconsidered. If your site has 300 to 500 word articles that don't add much value, you have two options. Rewrite them to make them valuable, delete them. Either option will work, so it's up to you. Duplicate content is fairly easy to fix in most cases. You can either delete it or add a canonical link. To find duplicate content on your site, start with Search Console, go to Search Appearance, HTML Improvements, and see if you have any issues. It's important to understand that both Panda and Penguin are algorithmic penalties. Even if you fix the issues, you have to wait until the algorithm is run again to see if you were successful. Since a Panda penalty can be triggered by many different things, here are most of the common fixes you should implement. Get rid of any thin or duplicate content. Create unique meta tags and title tags for each page. Go through all the articles to see if they read awkwardly, if the keyword seems forced. Go and replace it with a synonym, and reduce or eliminate any link cloaking. Although you'll have to wait for the next refresh of Penguin as well, the good news is that Penguin now refreshes continuously. The first thing you can do is to remove any unnatural links using that tedious and time-consuming process that we outlined earlier. There are other causes also for Penguin penalty. If your link velocity is screwed up, because you previously bought links or someone attacked your site, you can't do anything to fix it. Again, you have to disavow it or follow the removal steps. Some experts don't spend too much time removing low-quality links after a Penguin penalty because of link decay. About a year, most of the links will disappear. But if the traffic matters to you for a year, you should be working on fixing those links. The better use of time and resource is to invest into attracting high-quality backlinks. Penguin is based on some sort of a ratio between low quality and high quality. If you can improve that ratio by removing the low quality backlinks and improving your high quality, then you are less likely to be penalized by a Penguin update. A lot of time is spent fixing these penalties. So the best case scenario is not to get penalized again. And there are three main ways you can drastically reduce your chances of a future penalty. The first one is to perform regular audits. It's important to ensure that your site remains in Google's good graces. Perform both technical SEO audits and content audits on a regular basis. This involves monitoring links. Use whatever link database you want to monitor. If you see someone pointed 10,000 spam links towards your site, disavow them before they cause any problems. Check the Search Console messages often. If your site gets hacked, you'll get a message so that you can fix the issue before too much damage is done. Next, monitor the SEO sites. Google changes its quality guidelines on an ongoing basis. They evolve with the internet. In the beginning, getting exact anchor text links was a good thing, but now such links can get you penalized. So it's important to monitor SEO blogs and news sites to make sure that you know about any big changes that could lead to being penalized in future. It's better to be proactive about fixing violations rather than trying to fix a penalty. Avoid the shortcut. Building traffic to a website isn't easy, especially if you are a beginner. When you see someone on a forum claiming to get tens and thousands of visitors a month with black hat techniques, it's attempting to use those techniques as well is wrong. But remember that any successful site took years to build. Sometimes it takes almost 3 to 5 years to build visitors to a site per month. Those rare black hat success stories don't last and get penalized eventually. In summary, if you are a business owner, you can use this guide to fix any existing penalties that you have and protect your site in future. As you can see, it takes a lot of work and expertise to fix the site. And if you know you have a penalty, it may be worth hiring an SEO expert to help you out.